Well, there you are again. Charlie Greer podcast again. Today, Hollywood ghost story. Yep. This is another embarrassing one. Like, man, I'd never tell anybody this, but my friends, I've told them, you got to say this on your podcast. You got to. And it's true. It happened. I mean, I'm not wanting to get, attention for seeing a goat. That's to me stupid. I mean, I love a good ghost story and watching ghosts, but I'm not, like I don't even want to see ghosts. I done seen them. So let me start. Let me just start off this story because it's kind of I used to date like a D-list celebrity, and she was, and I was living in a night. It was her place, of course. I was kind of a kept. Again, I had my own. This is the thing, man. We met at an art show. I was doing art shows, and she bought some of my work. And then next thing we're dating, and then move into I got this big place. So yeah, we're dating. I move in, and then slowly, it's like that Hollywood world. It's all about perception. Like first, it was like, well, your car, I can't see. I can't have you drive. Your car can't be. So I parked it in the back of her like place and hid it. And she had like a spare Jeep, but I just drove that Jeep. And even work, I was managing a coffee shop on Sunset and curating the art galleries. No, you can't be seen. I don't want to be. I can't be dead. So I stopped my job. I quit my job because she can't be seen. We went to a dinner party and everybody's going around telling what they do, and I was they were you work, duh. I'm not as talented as you guys, I guess. So yeah, car in the back. Quit your job. We can't be seen. All that kind of stuff. Like even art show. You've hung at Bottom and Butterfield. You're doing private show. Quit doing these LA kind of that. And I kind of got even my circle of friends. Next thing I know, I'm just in this little circle. Her, without even. I mean, I knew, and I had my own money. Don't get it. I never. So this is for like a year, and man, like, okay, even my money was running out. Like, so long story short, she gets her show she was working on, gets nominated for a Golden Globe, which is like, oh my God, that morning, they call it like 5 a.m. I thought there was a fire. She was screaming, and I was like, I went to nominated for a Golden Globe. So go, okay. I went back to bed. And then when I got it back up, there's people at the house, her agency, certain people, and technically Hollywood people, especially on the seat, they don't like people like me. Some kind of creative. No. They take one look at me. Who's it? No. So it happened so quick. I came out. She's like, "Oh, give me some time." I go, "Yeah." She goes, "I want you to go," and I'm like, "Oh, of course. This is your day. Like, I'll go." So I started, getting my stuff ready. And she comes up with a basket of clothes. And later on, there were dirty clothes. She's like, "No, I want you to leave." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm leaving." She's like, "No, I mean, like, go, like now, like move out." What? Like, oh yeah, see, Golden Globe nominated. I've seen a lot. Are you kidding me? She's like, "Look, your dog can stay, Possum can stay, but you have to leave." I'm like, "Possum can stay, and I got it." My dog's named Possum. Are you shitting me? And my car was parked in the back, and there's all these cars in front. It would have been, just go. So I called my buddy, and he came pick me up, and I'm like, "Dude, I'm going to be on your couch for like a week or two." So then I had to find a job because I need to come up with like first, last, deposit, whatever. I need about $2 or $3, $4 grand, whatever it is, quick. So what do you do? I mean, so I literally went to Hollywood Boulevard, and I'm walking down. I walked into Hollywood Toys and Costumes, and I talked to I was like, "Hey man, you guys hiring?" He goes, "Oh, I am," He's like this Middle Eastern Persian guy. Cool, dude. And I got him up on because it's hourly. What do you say? I go, "Dude, I can't work for. I got to have a little bit more, a little bit." And then one of the people that work there had been at my show. "Oh, that's Charlie. They hiring," and they did. They hired me for more money. And the people didn't like that. The people heard it. Like the people were, "How did you get that?" He goes, "You got to start now, though." Like I walked in there 10 minutes later. I'm working. They're gonna do 8 hours. Like, okay, cool. So I did. At the end of that shift, and this is Hollywood Toys and Costume. It's on Hollywood Boulevard. It's like a legendary place. They get you can buy anything there, man. You can get a wig made. You can get fake teeth, if the blood, costumes. I mean, it's crazy. And it used to be like a theater, and the first Oscars were there and everything. So that in that day, he goes, look, what your job is, you're going to be in the morning. I want you to be here a little early, and you're going to open the place up. We're going to meet you outside with the keys, and you're going to go. I was like, cool. I didn't think it cool. Next morning, I get there at like 8 in the morning, maybe 7. It was pretty early. And they're outside. And again, they're like Persian, Middle Eastern or something. And he has the keys, and he's like, we're not going in there. There's a jinn. I'm like, a jinn? What the fuck is a jinn? You know, a ghost, like a demon or something. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, it lives in there. So you have to open the place up, go through, hit on the lights, tap, back, this big, 100 fucking switches, go upstairs, hit on those like that, a warehouse upstairs. Then an elevator in there to get. And so I go in there, and it was creepy. I'm like, what? This place, this is some kind of, hey. So I would do that. That's what I was doing, getting in the morning. And a lot of celebrities go in there, man. I mean, that's where you get your shit. So one morning, well, first we had made these really expensive costumes. Just to rent it is like $500. These really nice costumes, every kind of costume you can think of, and they're on top. They're about 6-7 foot high, and there's these exoskeletons. So the base is like, iron, and they're bolted down, and then it's got this metal exoskeleton, and you put these costumes on these exoskeletons, right? And I bolted those things down, so I went in there one morning. He's like, just another morning. We didn't know. So I went in there, I turned the corner, and it looked like a fight. One of those it was thrown across the store and like busted like glass, I ran back out. I'm like, dude, man, we've been robbed or something. No, it's the gin. Like, the gin, man, come on. I'm serious. So they called like the cops. He actually had this like paranormal guy. Like, we didn't open for a bit. We had to clean it up and put it back up. And they were worried. Like, this is, and supposedly he had seen things. So, I mean, it was creepy. And maybe it was later on that day, a dude came in, and he'd paid this guy. He's like, look, they're going to look around. This, what were they called? Some kind of like empath or some ghost hunter guy. I don't know. And he's all through the store. He goes up in the warehouse. He comes back, and then he leaves. And the owner comes up to me. And it's like, hey, we found out why there's this ghost, supposedly, or one of the ghosts is because we used to sell real skeletons. Like back in the day, they would sell like, those skeletons that hang. Now they're made like at Halloween or whatever, made out of plastic. They used to use like human bones and just like wire them to get you. And then they changed the law. He said, I thought that we got rid of them all. He says there's one up in the warehouse up there. So you got to find it. And that warehouse was like, are you kidding me? We're going to look for one box out of like 1 million boxes. So he's like, yeah. So he got me and this other dude who was in a band. That's what you guys are going to do every day. So we started on the right side and these industrial shelves were like 5 foot wide, metal, tall. Like, I mean, how many feet tall? 15 feet, 20? I don't know. And there's a bunch of them. So we had to go through. And I didn't like working with this heavy metal, death metal dude. He just was belly aching. I just didn't want to. Always about what's bad. He don't like that. Just come on, man. So I kind of want to stay away from him. His mojo was, and so we did. It might have took us a week. We were like halfway through. I remember and I had to climb a ladder and get on these levels. They were so big I could stand on them, and I was on the top. And I was looking for a bigger box. I didn't think the box would be. I found this box. I wasn't even going to look in. I thought no, I looked in there. It was. But it was taken apart. It was just stuck in this box about like 2.5, 3 foot long, about a foot wide, whatever. We found it. So I go down and tell the owner. I get on the elevator, go down, tell the owner, like, we found this. He's like, okay, go up and bring it back up. You bring it back down. So I go up, I get in the elevator, and I'm all like, la, 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 happy we found it. And I get to that level. As soon as the doors open, I hear this. It sound like this weird, like out of a fucking horror film, like something you typical, just stupid, like, And in front of me, I could see, when you see heat, how the heat mirage, like it looked like this, something was going on. Man, this is embarrassing to say. Pardon me. I got stomach problems. Sorry. But from the right on the wall, I see this like see-through kind of, it looked like a Grim Reaper, man. That's what it looked like. Had like black cheesecloth, it looked like a sickle. I mean, it was huge. This thing was like probably 15, 20 foot tall. So I walk out, I'm kind of looking over, and this thing's walking through. I can only see the side of it, like through the shelves, these big industrial shelves, this big, I can see through it, and it's got like the heat, I can't see its face. It's got like a hood. But man, I'm losing my fucking mind, man. So I'm walking, and then I get to the aisle where the dude is, and he's down. His back is to me. He's down, and he's in that box. And this thing comes over and like is behind him. I can see through it and see him, and he reacts. He kind of looking this way and that, and I just bolt, man. I leave the poor guy. Like I'm not a ghost. I don't know, I hit that elevator, man, and he's like, get that, And then we hear screaming, and he's yelling. I get down there, and I'm like, dude, there's something up there. And he's like, I told you, there's a jet up there. And he comes down, and he's pissed. He's pissed at me. He's like, I ain't gonna say, don't you ever ask me, what did Charlie do? What the fuck did I do? I didn't do anything besides see this stupid looking ghost thing. Why'd you leave me up? Hey, man, I mean, we don't like each other anyway. And what am I going to do? Hang around with a big thing with a sickle? I mean, instinct kicks in. You just go. And again, this is embarrassing, but it happened. I saw this thing. So he's like, I don't want to talk about it. I'm going to work. I'm not going to ever go up there again. And there were other people. Matter of fact, the owner didn't like going up there. And I was like, well, yeah, the bones are up there. So they call this dude. He brings in a guy with all these like eagle feathers and sage, and they're burning, and they go up there, and everything should be fine. And I didn't work there that much longer. I literally, I quit. I was just, weird things would happen. I got punched. A dude asked to try on a hat. I was behind the counter. I turned around, I turned on a hat, and he just bam, like laid me out. And of course, I jumped over the counter, and I, retaliate. I whip his ass. So they fire me or let me go. And I was already ready to go again. And it was stuff with people. I don't know, being in there, everybody kind of lost their cool every once in a while. But they brought me back. They're like, oh, we love you, Charlie. Come on back. And I was back for like a day. And then they're like, oh, no, we can't insure you. So I guess you have to insure people. But since and the guy had complained or wanted to sue, whatever. They're like, we can have. And I was like, yeah, I'd made enough was there maybe a month to get a shitty apartment or whatever I got, house in Highland Park. And so I started looking into what is this place? Started looking around online, and sure enough, it had been a theater. They held the first Oscars there. And then upstairs, used to be a theater upstairs. There was an acting coach, and he had, he was, and this is a top acting coach I'm more talking about back in the day, man. Back in like the 20s or 30s, like a long time ago. And he had, was casting, teaching, and one of his students, this actress, had hung herself up there. Like they came in and she was hanging, like she had committed suicide in the theater. Just weird, Hollywood. I've heard stories about the Pantages. I had a thing about the Pantages too. I'll tell you that story sometime. I didn't see anything, but and I stayed friends with these people. A lot of the people that they would come to my art shows or whatever was going on. I'd stop in, and it's a mysterious place. And there's certain place, like in Hollywood, there's certain places that are just known, like everybody knows, like, hey, you don't want to go, or if you do, you're going to deal with some paranormal shit. And I love that. I mean, I love the stuff in there. Working there was cool. One of the things that I missed out on was that, and man, I kicked myself in the ass for this. So at the time, this is like 2005, maybe 2000. Anyway, Michael Jackson wasn't doing too good. Like he was on trial or whatever. He used to love that store. He used to go in there all the time and get through this, that. And I guess he used to go out in disguise, and he'd get his disguises there. And this is from back in the day. He, as a kid, when they would go in. Michael loved that place. So over the years, he had Michael Jackson was a great artist, bro. I mean, he could draw and paint. So the owner had this little encased glass and a few pieces of art, and two of them there was a Michael Jackson drawing of Charlie Chaplin, and then a painting he did of maybe Vincent Price. And the owner was just like, oh, I want to get rid of this Michael, whatever. You can have them both for $100. And I thought, man, that's like you're giving it to me for $100. I get both of these. But I thought, man, at the time, Michael Jackson, it wasn't that cool to. So I was like, let me think about it. And I kind of just forgot about it. And whenever Michael Jackson died, I saw that, like there was they sold that stuff for, I don't know how much, a lot of money, like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like I had it for $100. Live and learn, If you are in Hollywood, if you're living there, go into the Hollywood Toys and Costume. It's on Hollywood Boulevard, like the east part, it's not the, And Ron, I shouldn't say that. The guy, the Persian, Middle Eastern guy who owned the place, he was cool. And we got to be, friendly. He's like, hey, man, if you ever, you can name drop me. And I did. I was like, hey, I'm with so-and-so. Okay, fine. Just leave me. Okay, fine. Thank you. Cool, dude. But a lot of those, he worked hard. People can see that. And he liked my art. Like one of the girls that worked there, she was the wig girl. Her and her husband had been to my art shows, and they even bought some of my art. And like, oh, Charlie, and he might have came to one of the bigger ones when they were giving booze and food away. But yeah, if you ever go in there, ask. Just say, hey, I heard that, because it's a thing. I bet you to this day there's people that they don't want to go up there. And I wonder if he's got somebody, if he still owns, if they won't go in the morning. I mean, again, I had to go in and turn on all the lights, and it was creepy. And seeing that ghostly figure, whatever it was, and it looked fake. Again, it looked like something you would see like in Halloween hanging and then you think, wait a minute, have people through time seen these things? Is that what and what the hell is this? Like a grim, again, it had a stick walking. And I could hear, walking through it could walk right through the shelving, the industrial shelving. And it was see-through. That guy never talked to me. I try to, hey. he would say, oh, that's something, like I have control over the fucking universe. Like I could project some kind of, no, he must have seen, it was right behind him. He must have turned around and saw that. He had to, if I saw it, I mean, he went crazy screaming. I could hear him, he came down the elevator. I'm surprised he didn't quit. But the funny, he just went right back to work. He went to I'm used to this working in the toy aisle or whatever. Leave me be, and they did. Again, I'm doing a daily podcast, so I'm going to be telling stuff, talking daily. So I have to be humble and honest. It's like I want to tell things. Again, my friends are like, man, you got to tell that story. I was like, no. But it happened. It's a mysterious world. Am I the only one that's seen mysterious shit? No. But I don't want to have a ghost podcast like I'm a ghoster or whatever. Hey, go join my ghost group now. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll watch a good ghost footage or documentary, And I do believe, again, I've seen certain things, so something's going on. I can't explain the universe, but I know that. So I see what, and maybe they've done something there. Maybe they, or they should. One of these ghost people should be like, dude, pay him or what, after hour, let us stay the night. If you dare, take some tents and some cots and sleep upstairs of that place. But after I'd go back in there and I talked, and they were like, oh, after we got rid of those bones, everything's kind of chilled out. I mean, it's always creepy. And honestly, in Hollywood, you don't, from the 20 or whenever that thing was, there's no telling what went on in there. They could have had a side hustle too. It could be, they could have been doing shit in there. Well, at night I don't know. But it things like that kind of change you and not make you smarter, but open up your eye, make you aware of like, it's a mysterious world. Oh my goodness. So yeah, the Hollywood ghost story, Hollywood toys and costume. And I'm sure there's got to be. I'd love to talk to that guy again. He wasn't that pleasant of a person. I'm surprised he wouldn't want to talk to me. And he was just mad at the world. They'd moved from somewhere. They came to Hollywood, his band, and I kind of had stuff going on. I mean, not to be point the finger, but they had like a studio apartment and with bunk beds. There was like 5 or 6 dudes in his band, and they all lived. And that's another thing, he was ranting and raving like, I can't get no sleep, and people farting, and Well, I always have a cool girlfriend, and I have my own play. That I got art show. You know what I mean? Like people are, and I'd just been living with a D-list celebrity, and I'm not going to say who she is. Yeah, kicked me out. And about that. So yeah, she kicked me out. I got nominated for a Golden Globe. I had moved on. So when they nominate you, it takes about like a month or 2 before the show, or 6 weeks, whatever it was. So by the time it came about, I was matter of fact, I didn't even know the Golden Globes were going on that night. And I get a phone call. It's her. They didn't win. And she's like, what happened? What did I do to come back? Like, hey, I moved on. I mean, you know what I've had to go through since you kicked me out? By then I went and got my dog, and yeah, what did I do? Well, you kicked me out like scumbag, like Hollywood. Like I'm getting to go. I can't know you. That happens. I'm sure there's other people that that's happened to. Again, be careful who you shack up with. I mean, but her and I had a lot of fun, man. We'd laugh when we'd be rolling on the ground. We had good times, really good times. And the funny thing is, she became friends with my friends who, She had a group of people that they knew because of me, you know, like I'm the facilitator to. To this day, she's probably pissed at me. I had to sign about that, you know. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Yes, some of these are embarrassing for me to tell, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to talk about them. The Hollywood Ghost, the Hollywood Grim Reaper, whatever the fuck that thing was. Scary. The unknown. Look, I love y'all. It's that time. I love y'all. Be blessed. I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.